Hi, I'm Dana Obelman, creator of the Sleep Sense program, and this week I wanted to talk a little bit about the newborn. I see that there are people on the blog commenting on their newborns, and I have a lot of return customers coming back with baby number 2 or 3 wanting to get off on the right foot with their newborn. So I wanted to just give you a few maybe surprising newborn facts that can get you started down the right road with sleep. One of the most surprising things people find about their newborn is that their stamina or their awake time is very, very short. I remember when I had my first, I had no idea what his sleep needs were. He was awake for hours at a time. Every time he was cranky, I thought he was hungry. And so it just sort of snowballed into this extreme overtiredness. And then you get, the really frantic crying and the fussiness. And I often find, when people are explaining a colicky situation, that some of the time it's just a matter of timing naps better throughout the day to prevent that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock witching hour, they call it, where your newborn just sort of, breaks down and starts crying hysterically. So really a great way to organize your newborn's day is a 45-minute rule. So if your newborn woke up for the day and has had his feeding and has a little bit of playtime, basically by 45 minutes from the time he woke up and had his feed till now, that's about all a newborn can handle, and it should be back to bed. And that's really surprising for a lot of people because it's such a short amount of time. And if you time it right, you'll find that it's much easier to actually let your newborn fall asleep on their own. If you've watched the clock and he's had a good feed and now it's time to go to the bassinet for a nap, sometimes all it takes is a bit of a swaddle, a little bit of a cuddle, and into the bassinet, and the baby just falls asleep peacefully all on his or her own. And that is your number one focus when you're dealing with your newborn is, can you at least some of the time encourage this baby to find ways to get to sleep that don't always revolve around you? And it really is, it can be such a gradual process. I think when you start off right from day one, you can bend rules, and there can be times where, she falls asleep in your arms, or you're out and about with her, or you fed her to sleep, and that's okay, as long as you are keeping in mind that what your ultimate goal here is to allow her to find ways to fall asleep that become her own strategies. And then you'll find that the nights progress nicely. You're getting longer and longer stretches out of her. And then you don't have to, get to a point where you're ready to pull out your hair and now you have to do some serious sleep training. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with your newborn. Now, I suggest also, too, that you organize the day basically into 12 hours of day and 12 of night. And while it's daytime, apart from going to their bassinet for nap time, they come out, they're with the family, they are interacting. Nap time, they go back, they come out, they feed, they're interacting. So you're falling into basically a daytime schedule of the baby has slept, then the baby is fed, then the baby has some playtime, and now the baby goes back to bed. So it's you're not always feeding your baby to sleep. And then you spend the nighttime 12 hours basically in the baby's room as much as you can, or in your room, and it's just a very quiet pattern of eating and going back to sleep and eating and going back to sleep. So I hope that gives you a few little hints and helpful tips to get started off on the right track. If you need more, there's a whole section all about newborns that I wrote when my daughter was a newborn, so it was very fresh in my mind. And you can go ahead and click right on the link on this page and you can get started right away. Thanks, and sleep well.